Hello everyone, this is Sri from Math Rules, and today I'm going to be explaining the base method, which is a shortcut for multiplication. So this is basically a Vedic math trick, or a shortcut, as I said, which helps you do multiplication faster than the traditional way. So the base here, let's just get into the problems. The base here in this problem is 100. But normally, the base could be any number that is to a power of 10. So for example, 10 to the first power, which is 10. So it could be like 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, and etc. So it could be any number basically with to the power of 10. But it could also be numbers like 20, 30, 40, 50. It could be like that. But it's mostly used with like powers of 10 basically. So, in this case, it's 99 and 98. Both of those numbers are very close to 100. One is 1 away and one is 2 away. So, the base here is going to be 100. So, the first step is identifying what the base is. So for the first step, we could just say identify base. So there's going to be like 5 steps, I believe. Step 1, identify the base. We're done with that. So I'm just going to write IB, identify base. Okay, step 2, we're going to do the actual problem, which is 99. What we have to do for step 2 is we have to do 99 minus 100. If we do 99 minus 100, we get negative 1, right? In regular math, you write negative 1. But in Vedic math, you write bar 1. It's basically the same symbol as we use for a repeating decimal, where we're having like 3.999, except we write it as 3.9. So it's the same symbol, except here it represents the negative sign. So basically, 99 minus 100 is negative 1, or bar 1. And because 100 has 2 zeros in it, it means that we have to have 2 places here, or 2 place values. That also means that we need to have 2 numbers here. So we have to put a 0 here, because that's going to be the placeholder. Whoops. Okay, so this is what we're going to write over here, next to the colon. So, what we write to the, that's the second step, so that's basically done. We're done with the second step. We could put a check mark there. Done. Should actually just erase that. Done. Third step, we do the same thing but with 98. 98 minus 100. 98 minus 100, that's negative 2, or bar 2. Because 100 has 2 zeros, that means we need to have 2 place values. So we use the 0 as a placeholder. So it's going to be bar 02. Now that step is also complete. So that's step 3. Step 4 and 5. Step 4 and 5 actually are 6 steps. Step 4 and 5, you could do either one of those first. So I'm just gonna do step 4 first, and I'll do step 5. But I'll also show the other way where you could do step 5 first and then do step 4. It doesn't really matter. So step 4 is basically you cross subtract. I know it sounds weird, but it basically means just do 99 minus 2. Or 99 plus parentheses minus 2. Or minus 02. So that's basically is going to overall give you 99 minus 2, which is 97. So it's going to be, you just have to write 97. You can also check it by doing 98 minus 01, which is going to be 97. So we could just confirm that it's 97 here. And this is going to be correct. Well, it's not going to be correct. But that's a way to check that we did our subtraction correct, or if these numbers are correct. So now we're done with the cross subtraction, which I'm going to call CS, cross subtraction. we're going to do step 5. Step 5 is basically multiplying these two. It's multiplying the bar 0, 1 and bar 0, 2. We just bring down the 0. The 0 has no effect. So it's just going to be basically negative 1 times negative 2. And we both know that that's going to be 2. Because negative times negative is equals to positive. And 1 times 2 equals 2. And we just bring down the 0. Just bring one of them down. So this is step 5, which I'm gonna call multiply, so M, I guess. And then the final step is just to remove this dash over here, the pesky little dash. So you could just write the final answer as that. So I'm just gonna say for remove dash, I'm just gonna say RM. Wait, no, RD. So, that's going to be the final answer. Remember when I said you could either do step 4 or 5 first? Basically, the order doesn't matter because... One second. The order doesn't matter because you could either multiply the 0, 1 or bar 0, 1 with bar 0, 2 before you do the cross subtraction, because all of this is basically different. It's going to stay different. So it doesn't matter if you cross subtract first or if you multiply these two. So you could either do this first, then do the cross subtraction, or you could do the cross subtraction first and do the multiplication as I did here. So that's the first problem. Let's do another problem. And also you could check by using a calculator, but I checked this before and I got the same result. Okay, so now I'm back with another problem. I just paused the recording because I wanted to save you guys some time. So, here is basically the next problem, which is going to be 93 times 97. And if you want, you could pause the video and do it by yourself, but I'm just going to start it, so just pause it and do the problem if you want. So, 97, let's just lay out our first 6 steps, or our only 6 steps. So, number 1, identify base, IB. Here, the base is 100, because 93 and 97, well, that's the closest power of 10, that's the 100 is the closest power of 10 that's closest to them. Or in other words, 93 is closer to 100 than it is to 10, and 97 is closer to 100 than it is to 10. And I don't really like to use 90 because it tends to get complicated. So I'm just gonna use 100. So step 1, IB is done, or identify base. Step 2, 93 minus 100. Or I guess what you could call is first number minus base. So you could say 1, well, no, not 1. Let's just say, first, sorry about that S. First number minus base, which I'm going to write as B. Third step, second number. Oh, God. Okay, second number. Second number minus base. And third step, we'll continue those when we get there. But because this second and third steps are related, I'm just wrote those at once. So, first number minus base. In other words, 93 minus 100. That's basically negative 7, which we're going to write as bar 7. And because there's 2 zeros in 100, we have to write a 0 in front of it as a placeholder. Or bar 07. We just write down the same thing over here. And now we're going to do step 4. Oops. we're gonna do step 4, which is the second number minus the base, which is 97 minus 100, which results you with -3, which we're gonna write as bar 3. And because there's 2 zeros in 100, we just put the 0 as a placeholder for the second place, for the first place value, I guess. And we'll just write down the same thing here. Basically, you just put the 0 there in the 10th place, if you want to think about it that way. Okay. Oops. Now, let's do step 4 and 5, which was, step 4 could be cross-subtract, which I'm going to write CS, which I already did. Step 5 is multiply these two, so I guess multiply bars. Yeah, multiply bars. Which I'm going to write is MB, megabyte. No, multiply bars. And then 6, as in remove dash. Okay, let's cross-subtract first. 97 minus 3 is 90. Wait, what? Sorry. 93 minus 3 is 90, and 97 minus 7 is 90. So in both cases, we resulted with 90, which we know should be, then is correct. Then, we do the multiplying the bars, or MB. So we do 0, 7, and 0, 3, basically. Which is 7 times 3, which actually it's -7 times -3. But because the negatives cancel out, it's just going to be 7 times 3, which is 21, and we just write it as 21. And notice how I did not add a 0 here. I did not put 0 to 1. We don't do that because we don't need the place value anymore because we already have 2 digits here. And we could also use a calculator to check, which I'm going to do real quick. And yes, I get the same answer. Now let's just do our last step, which is removing the dash. So it's 9021, which we could box as our final answer. Let's just do one last problem and then we'll be done. Okay, so now I'm back with a different problem. So this is going to be our last problem. So first one, identify base. Because it's 92 and 94, we're going to compare to which power of 10 is the closest to them. In this case, we have to compare 10 with 92 and 100 with 92. And we know that 100 is closer to 92 than 10 is closer to 92. So here the base is going to be 100. And the same thing is for 94, because 94 is closer to 100 than it is to 10. So, let's do the problem now. Step 1, identify the base. We're done. Step 2, first number minus the base. 92 minus 100. That's -8, which we're going to write as bar 8. Because 100 has 2 zeros, we need to add a placeholder in this case. So we're just going to have to write that. Bar 08. Now, let's do 94 minus 100. 94 minus 100. 100. Which equals -6. Which we can write as, I don't think that's much space. So, negative 94 minus 100 equals -6, which we're going to write as bar 6. And because 100 has 2 placeholders, or 2 zeros, we have to add a placeholder to -6, or bar 6, to make it right, basically. And we're just going to write the same thing over here. Then my favorite 2 steps, which are the cross subtract and the multiply. So let's just do that. You could do cross subtraction first, or you could do the multiplication of the bars first. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to do the multiplying the bases first. Let's just do that. Okay. Ignore the zeros for now. What's negative 8 times negative 6? Well, that's 48. Positive 48. So we're just going to write 48 there. And we don't have to bring down the zeros because 48 has 2 digits in it and 100 has 2 zeros in it. So we're set for that. And now let's do the cross subtraction. What's 92 minus 6? That's 86. Or 94 minus 8, which is also 86. And now you can check using a calculator, which I will be doing. 92 times 94 equals, yes, that's correct. And let's just do our last step. Remove the dash and just basically box the answer. Okay. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed and learned something new. And don't forget, this is only for checking your problems on your homework or test or using on competitive exams. And don't forget to always show your work with the traditional method, because sometimes it could be considered cheating if you don't. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Also like. Don't forget to share. And also don't forget to comment on what we should do next week or next video. Thank you very much and goodbye.